Hello, hello. This is Chris. Today we are going to be talking about the Erfurt latrine disaster. Mind you, I do not say know if I'm saying that wrong. I don't know German. If it was Spanish, I could do a little better. German, I'm not great at. Um, but Erfurt, I believe, Erfurt, I believe is how you say it. Latrine disaster. So it was the time 60 nobles died because of a toilet. um, Now this was in like 1100 AD. So it was as always. Before I start this, little disclaimer for anyone first time joining us. So pretty much this is I'm gonna play Baldur's Gate or play any game. Right now it's Baldur's Gate. Um, and then I'm gonna ramble about history. Now I do have a uh, degree in history. I have a bachelor's in religious studies, culture, and history. Most of my degree is in religious studies and things like that, but religious studies also involves history. So I have a degree in history, and when I talk about this stuff, I know a lot about it. Like, I just like random history facts, but I don't always know exact dates or exact things. So I do have a Wikipedia page up so I can just kind of check the notes. And it's really just me rambling about history, nothing. And so I can just talk about history and I don't just bore my husband and friends of me rambling about stupid times in history. If you are here for like a let's play or anything about the game or anything like that, or if you wanted to watch cutscenes without someone talking, this is not the place for you. This is me talking over everything, me just going on and rambling about an event or something like that for about 30 to 40 minutes or longer if the event requires it. But yeah, so that's what this is. And so today I am going to be talking about a latrine disaster. So pretty much in 1184, on July 26th in Erfurt, Germany, about 60 people died because the floor collapsed and they fell through the floor, drowning in the cesspit underneath the building, and so they died in human waste. So they pretty much died in the sewers. And um, King Henry VI was there, and it was like a court day, which is Hoftag in German. And so it was essentially they were there to like figure out a land dispute between two lords. It was Louis III of Latrine. Oh God, sorry, my German is awful. Thuringina, and the Archbishop Conrad of Mainz. Um, and uh, and it apparently had been going on since like Henry the Lion, which is someone from like which at this point it had been going on for about maybe 30 years or so, 30, maybe longer, 30, 50 to something years, 30 or 50 years or something like that. And so pretty much that means that it's like all these ridiculous things have been going on for a really long time. Oh, I forgot to change Gil's spells. Okay, well, that's just gonna be a thing, I guess. So it's been already going on for a while, and it had intensified to the point where the Holy Roman Empire Emperor and his family were like, yeah, you have to deal with this, and yeah, they were like forced to intervene between all these people and like be like, okay, what is going on? Why is this such a big deal? And so 18-year-old Henry the Sixth diverted from his military campaign in Poland, and then like went there to like help oversee the operation, and because it had just gotten so bad, and so yeah, that's where they were at, and that's why everyone was there to like figure out this land dispute that obviously was causing lots of problems for lots of different people for really stupid reasons. And so Henry the Sixth got together, like, you know, decided to have a court day, and it was apparently on the Feast of St. James, so a lot more people were already kind of there. And then, so there was already probably some more people than like just there would already be in this land, you know, in this court meeting about this land dispute. And so they were gonna do that. And so apparently they were like, the meeting took place on the upper floor of meetings took place on like the upper floor of like a 2-story building, and it was just gonna, you know, it was close to the cathedral, but it was just in this building that they could do it. Pretty much what happened was bad construction, honestly. The floor, the wooden like support beams were rotten through, and so they were already like not doing great, and so they weren't gonna hold up for much longer. And since there was just so many people already on this upper floor, it was, you know, it was gonna, you know, make it so that they were going to just fall anyway at some point, and this just happened to be the day that it was going to happen. And so the combined weight of everyone in the meeting made it so that they couldn't really do anything. And they all get there, they're all about to go into this meeting, and they fall through, and the impact of people and debris caused like everything, caused all the ground floor to collapse as well. So just the beams on the upper floor were bad. It wasn't the ground floor, but because, like, you know, over 60 people, you know, we don't have the exact number, but it was like 60 people died in this. So it was like over 60 people were up there, and so they were like all fell, and then you're thinking like wood and stone fell as well, and anything else they had in the room that they were in fell as well. And so all of that fell and like hit the ground floor, and the ground floor collapsed. And then underneath the ground floor, like in most, Gale is down. I'm downed. Where am I? I'm right there. And so like most of the people in the ground floor, most of the people in the ground floor area were like, you know, not on the ground floor. Most of the people that like went through the ground floor are now in the cesspit, and like most buildings of this time, people had cesspits in just their like everyday life. So they so this is how toilets worked back then. It was pretty much a room where you sat, and all of your waste would just go down into your cesspit, and then the cesspit would like go out into the just general area of the into like the river or something like that. But for a lot of it, you would just kind of sit there for a bit until it got cleaned out by like muckers or something, or like servants. And so they kind of just had to, all your leavings, I guess, just kind of got through, and so there was this giant cesspit, and then they all fell into it, and a lot of people suffocated in the sewage because it was like, again, like 60 people, or more than 60 people fell into the cesspit, and because so many people fell into it, they had to they drowned. Like they lost, they ran out of like air. They asphyxiated in the sewage, and they got murdered by sewage because there was just so many people there. And I can't even just begin to like think about how ridiculous it kind of is that there's just so many people and so much sewage down there that like you die. And there's some people who like listed a bunch of noblemen, but yeah, there was a bunch of noblemen that died during this because they were there, and there's not much you could really do about that because they just died. And so Henry the Sixth was there, but him and the Archbishop, who was one of the people that had the land dispute, were just like sitting on the window when it happened, like on a windowsill, and it was stone, not the wood, so they actually were just kind of like stuck up there. And they were just kind of stuck up there and couldn't really do anything because they, if they tried to jump off, they'd be jumping down like 2 stories, and not the best idea in the world. So they didn't do that, and so they just had to wait there to be rescued, and so they had to wait for ladders, and they got the ladders and like were able to get down. But yeah, they just kind of had to wait there, and the other guy in the dispute did fall, but he survived. He was one of the people that survived, and so the collapse actually was like kind of went into folklore, and so there's actually a story. So like there's actually a story, a German story that's a short story that like made it into a book, and it's a Deutsche Schonbuch, which again, I'm so sorry to anyone who speaks German, and I'm probably butchering this, but yeah, it was published and there was like a retelling of it. But yeah, apparently there is like people who someone who was there, which was Hendrik of Schlossberg, literally a habit of saying, if I did that, I would have drowned at the privy. Um, he and
With a thunk,
and
the man collapses,
and
unconscious.
he apparently was like, he had that saying that he would say, and then he like ended up dying there in in the privy, and so you're just like, oh, that's not great.
Let's try and avoid any more punching.
Um,
We need to find a healer.
but
That's settled. I wouldn't have looked to a drow for help.
but yeah, so that, you know, everything else is like, the story is there, the historical record is there. They do, they did say it was, some people have said that it was taking place in a different place, and so they didn't actually fall into the sewer, or into the cesspit of the house, but into the sewer for like the area. But there's kind of, it's mainly been like confirmed that by records that it was like in a house next to the like next to the cathedral, not in like the monastery. But yeah, so that's kind of
nobody's welcome anymore.
but it has kind of like, in popular culture, there is a science fiction novel called When the Moon Hit Your Eye, that came out in 2025.
I've tried.
But and it's like characters debating on the worst ways to die, and one talks about the molasses flood, and one talks about this one too, which the Great Molasses Flood is also kind of like a weird disaster that has happened in history, and that happened in 1919, which is something that happened in the United States.
Really?
But yeah, it's so like there is definitely also some people who have like talked about this. I will completely agree that
make them see sense.
But
and if it's of any concern,
but yeah, so it's like,
you're brave
is
to walk around without hiding your heritage. I'll make sure everyone knows that you helped us at the gate.
Sorry, I got distracted by my game, which but yeah, so it's just a funny kind of way to a funny way to like think about how like a bunch of people died. Oh, I did not. Yeah, so the whole thing was about a land dispute, which it didn't actually get resolved during this, because because Henry the Sixth was just like, you know, F this, and was like, you know, all these people died, and there's still, both of them survived, but like there still is a dispute now, and I don't want to deal with it. I'm going back to fight. And
He's not breathing.
and
It's too late.
but yeah, so
He's gone.
but yeah, he like immediately left and went on military campaign, and leaving this dispute unresolved, and then the like estate passed on to like children, and
Someone's going to pay for this.
and like, you know, heirs and things like that, and so like all of the so like the dispute kind of never was figured out. It and it's something that, you know, I just think is funny, and it's like, yes, 60 people died. The king was just like, you know, not dealing with that, and then proceeds to like just go away and but yeah, it's very funny to me that this happened. And so yeah, I mean, I agree. It's a bad way to die. It's just a really bad way to die. And I don't think it would be something that I would like be like, yeah, you know, I watched 60 people drown or, get either crushed or suffocate in human feces, and yeah, this is great. This is a ridiculous thing that has happened. When and the fact that it just has like continued on into folklore is definitely funny to me, where it's 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 just something that people now kind of just talk about as like, haha, is this not funny? And I'm like, yeah, it's funny. But and when like you kind of start thinking about like maybe worst ways to die, I feel like drowning in human excrement and feces is definitely up there for me, if not, high up there. And I wouldn't want that to happen to me for the life of me. But who knows? Maybe maybe this wouldn't be an issue. But yeah, so always make sure the
Never been much
you
of a
know
fighter, so
the
wrestling above
infrastructure
there would have
is
gone
well done,
poorly.
or is like
But you're
up to
not here
code,
for
I
the
guess.
drinks,
There's not
are
really
you?
code there, but like
A
make sure
vernice's
it's
stench
up
is all over
to
your
just
skin.
make sure like it's all
Let
up
me
to
guess.
code, and that
Your
like
devil
you
mistress
don't
sent you to
die
get her
in
soul coin
sewage,
back.
because that's
Too bad.
definitely a reason
I earned it,
that you'd be
fair
like,
and square.
oh, that's not great. But yeah, I definitely will keep doing this. I'm having a great time. And I will try to keep my stories like kind of lighthearted, because I don't
That
really
bloody
want to
Uranus.
I don't really want to
Should mind my step.
have sad ones. There's definitely some silly ones, like some more depressing ones I want to talk about, like glass syndrome, which is essentially people who have like a mental disorder that they think they are made of glass, and if anyone touches them, they will break, which is a huge, it wasn't huge, but there have been definitely people who have had it, and mainly aristocracy, actually, which, same thing with like gout, because it's like the disease of kings, which is a interesting and kind of weird thing to talk about. That it's like something that only the monarchy really got, and gout is still a thing that can happen, but it's really only like some people who have like excess, I guess is the best term for it. But yeah. So I am just gonna keep doing this, talking about weird, stupid history. If you have, and yeah, if anyone wants to be like, ooh, you use AI, no, I don't. Trust me. If I did, the videos would be much more concise. I would not like ramble over words or anything like that. But I do, because I am just a historian that likes weird history facts and enjoys playing video games, and especially like intense story games that really don't.
We must leave for Baldur's
It probably isn't a good idea to do this with, but who cares? I'm having fun. I'm having a good time, and that's why you should make things and have fun with it. All right. Well, I will see you guys next time, and we'll talk about some more stupid history. All right. Bye.